Sorry if I seem out of breath. I am, like I said, one of the spiciest curries I've ever had in my entire life, if not the spiciest. But anyway, this is go on Monday the 3rd of October 2022. Why is my door shaking? I just checked the window, it's shut. Anyway, in English, my partner, I guess the person that was doing the presentation, I don't want to mention this, you're supposed to do a presentation together, and she did all of it basically. So thanks to her. Representatives like, oh, but you're missing out on these, so we have to put them in. This is like, I have this something that I wrote. He was born during the Great Depression and lived through, with this on Cormac McCarthy, lived through World War II, Cold War, War on Terror, etc. And because of that, he's not going to be a very optimistic person. Sorry, I can't remember. So, all I wrote was that, but never actually explained how. Anyway, and everyone else's presentation also had some missing gaps, so all of us have homework to fill them in. And it's a lot. Like, they're all small bits of research, but like, even writing them down, you're not going to be able to write all of them down. I know that it's like the first one is Japan and the consequences of America dropping the nuke on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And the second thing is all the like experiments and stuff like that was done during the Holocaust. Like, some of the people in the concentration camps were used to test like vaccines on stuff like that. I forgot to mention before class started. When I was walking down to English, there was a lot of people leaving the building, like the English building, block, whatever. And it was, there's just a lot. So when I actually got to class, I said, sorry, my ears annoying me. Sorry, I thought I was going to be late. So many effing people. Good night. Media teacher overheard me because his door was open and told me off. Ansel told me to keep my voice down. And at the end of the day, he popped in. Was talking about the road because he is responsible for the books or something. I don't know. It's like folks, yeah, you need to get it off of parent pay. It's been up for weeks. No excuse for this. I said, it hasn't. My mum has been checking it every single day. Like, well, your mum already paid for it, so that's irrelevant. Like, what the hell are you talking about? You straight up either lied or told something that you don't know the full story of. You said it's been up for weeks. It hasn't. Maybe you press the button to put it up for weeks. I don't know how parent pay works, but point is, it hasn't been up. Either you didn't put it up, or it glitched. And I don't know if he was a bit passive aggressive with me. And I don't know if that's just him being him, or just the fact that I swore earlier. I'm so sorry about me. I've been clearing my throat so much today. At break, I went to the person responsible for like my prefect role or whatever, and she gave me a badge. She gave me 3 badges, 1 for me and 2 for the other people that are prefects for the library. It says, I think it says literacy leader, I think. Yeah. I don't like it, but I mean, if I don't wear it, I'll probably get shouted at. It's like oh, you need to be in library whenever you can at breaking lunch. But I went at breaking lunch today and it's full. And I mean, obviously there's no classes at break, but it did seem like a class at lunch. So I'm not going to enter the library when there's a class in the library. And on top of that, the library's been closed a lot. In study, I was talking to my classroom assistant, and this isn't the loudest that she has gotten, but like the way that she told me to be quiet because I was the only one talking was she screamed like a girl in a horror film. Like, I am talking about careers to the classroom assistant because she asked a question. So if you don't want me to answer that question, you need to take it up with the classroom assistant. Because she keeps on saying, oh, you need to be silent and study. There needs to be no noise whatsoever. Well, guess what? The keyboards on our iPads make noise. So, what are you going to do about that? But I mentioned the reason why I was talking to her about careers is because I had that UCAS meeting finally with the female head of year. It was terrible. So it was I forget how it came up, but I explained incident free to the teacher, and I remember her saying that the study teacher told her for some reason, Miss Dylan was looking at the law. What? He was looking at the law, and that's not work related. Yeah, it is. If you do like, I think it's business studies or public services or something. Like if you do one of those subjects, the law is something that you need to research. I get that she can just go on my timetable and say, oh, he doesn't do that subject, so he isn't doing it for school. Block. Which, I mean, it's terrible. Because they'll be like, oh, you need to research what career you want. Yeah, that's me. That could be me doing it. What if I want to be a lawyer? Just be clear, I don't want to be, but that should be your first assumption. Because the entire school is like, oh, you need to look up what career you want. But then in study, it's like, oh no, you need to do the only thing that you are ever allowed to do in study is homework. And when you complete all your homework, you have to email your teachers for them to give you more work. This is a 100% broken system where it is impossible for a student to do anything correctly because all the rules contradict each other. But back to the meeting, I explained what's been happening with all the bloody copyright and misinformation and all the other BS that I've been getting since May last year. And I explained how I was being paranoid about like going to the court, and it's just like, but if you get dragged to court, you won't be kicked out of school. I mean, what do you mean I won't be kicked out of school? I'll be missing a hell of a lot of class. And then she finally got to the meeting, like, on point. What do you want to do? I don't know. Okay, go look at careers or subjects for university. Fine. Oh, and also, man, you read books. Why don't you be a librarian? It requires a university course. I can't go to uni. That's rubbish. You can't go to uni. It's too hard here. Like, it's going to be a million times harder in uni. So if I'm 5 seconds off of failing A level, do you honestly think I can go to uni? Oh, but you're getting a C in moving image. I'm not getting a C. It was luck. But you can't get lucky in a subject. I explained, like, the very lazy method that I got a C in moving image for. And that I can't do that this year. Because last year we learned about the bomb theory. And I thought I'll just turn the bomb theory into a movie. And that'll be it. And I did. Got a C. Well, C overall. Don't know what the film itself was because there's also an exam. But I can't do that because that's called the classical Hollywood style. You can't do the classical Hollywood style this year. You need to do something else. I'm just going to say these without actually explaining what they are, and the reason why is because I don't actually know what they are. You have, sorry, hiccup, I think there. You have French New Wave, which is what I'm probably going to do, or at least that's just what I've written down for the homework. Italian Neo-Realism, and actually I think it's just those three, well, two. Italian Neo-Realism, from what I know, is that it's, and I might have explained this in Incident Free because this was responsible for Incident, and that's why I mentioned Incident Free to miss. Right. Anyway, Italian Neo-Realism is, it started up right after World War II. Italy recovering from the war. All the studios that the film movies in prior to the war were bombed. So they had the film on the street. And it's more like a documentary. I don't mean like the way that the Office is like a documentary. I mean, they started filming handheld. As in, instead of it being on a tripod, someone is moving with the camera. Someone's actually holding the camera. And that makes a film more like a documentary. Because it's on like a spectrum of how close it is to being 100% fiction or 100% real. Although we don't actually say those words, real and not real. We say, I think for it being real, we say realism, but for it not being real, we say formalism. So, classical Hollywood style is more formalist. French New Wave, or sorry, Italian Neo-Realism is more realistic. And French New Wave, I can't really tell the difference between French New Wave and Italian Neo-Realism. Anyway, so I'm trying to remember how the rest of the meeting went, because it was. We've got the research careers and or subjects to do at uni. Problem is, I don't have the time. I have immediate homework due first thing tomorrow. I've got another media homework due first thing Wednesday. I've got moving image homework due Thursday, and I've got English homework for the same teacher, not the media teacher, the female editor is also a media class person, due Friday. So, how the hell do you expect me to do this? Because you've already asked me to do this, and the reason why I haven't done it yet is because I don't have the time. And she didn't even ask me why. All she said is, "Have you done this?" No, and that was it. So what she's asked. So next time I'm meeting her for UCAS, we're going to do a survey together, I think, and it's going to come up with jobs. And I did this last year in careers, and it is not accurate at all, because the first 194 jobs are either something to do with the environment or therapy. I'm not interested in either. The 195th job is something that I'm interested in, but I'm too stupid to do. CSI. I'm only interested in being a CSI because I like CSI the show and other crime shows. And I stopped reading the list after CSI. So I'm going to do that with her, and I'm also going to do it with the mentor tomorrow. When I went out of the meeting, the assistant, and that's where I'm getting shouted out for stuff there. She asked me about what was happening in the meeting, because she asked if she wants me, if I want her to tag along, and I said no, it's fine. But thanks. So I explained to her, and she said, "Oh, there's this website that I did when I was in uni or whatever to see what I wanted to do. It's called Prospects." I was like, I've never heard that website before. Turns out I have, because it's the website I just mentioned where you do the survey. Like, oh yeah, right. I've done this before. I shown her my results, and she's like, "Oh, there's this other thing that you can do," and the other thing was basically the same. And I came up with I forget what the top thing was, and it was only like a 48% match. The top thing was something. The second top was being an entertainer, whether that be acting, writing, directing, etc. No, definitely not. The third thing is being an empath, which I thought that was just like magic. You know, I thought an empath was someone that could sense other people's like emotions or feelings, like Cecile in The Flash. But turns out that's just like being a therapist or something like that, giving out advice. No, I'd be terrible. Don't know how, but if I were to be a therapist and someone was saying that they had like suicidal feelings, I would somehow accidentally pull a low tier god. um, and she said, "Oh, so how about you go on the Cirque website and look at something you're interested in?" I was like, "Oh, for God's sake, I'll just lie and say coding." She's like, "Oh, you like coding, do you, Dylan? Well, look at these things I find when I googled coding." It was like it can be broken down in the three parts: cybersecurity, game development, and website building. There's a course that does all of them that I wrote down. I'm not gonna do it. No. Once I'm done with my A levels, that's me. And maybe I don't even remember. There was still a bit of tension where sorry, I'm just blank right now. I'm actually all over and then to clear my throat, but my air is still annoying me. I don't want to do this in a video because it'll make my voice go all, but I'm going to take a halls. Or maybe an entire, whatever you want to call them, box. I don't know. Excuse my seat squeaking. But I was like, Dylan, you haven't done this. You didn't tell us to do that. I was like, you. Right, so I remember saying this on Friday, in Friday's video. But he said, pick 2 films. If they don't have a website, that's fine. I've got a way of going around it. But he never said what that was. And he was like, well, you don't have 2 websites. I wonder why. The films I picked were Quiet Place and Tenet. Sorry. Check from like it's about. Neither of them have websites. Especially since Quiet Place is distributed by Paramount. And we search up any film followed by .com. If it's owned by Paramount, it'll redirect you to the Paramount website. So I quickly, what do you mean by a way around it? Is it, so I done Quiet Place and Tenet. Just pick 2 other films that have websites and write them down instead. You don't even have to change around the photos. So I did Nope and Orphan First Kill. Hope that's gonna help. On top of that, I didn't put my images into a Google Doc. The reason why is because what he told us to do on Friday is he gave us a folder on Google Drive. And you can create folders within folders within folders in Google Drive. So he told us to create 2 folders. One called Text 1, one called Text 2. Pick the 2 films, Tenet, Quiet Place. Get a DVD cover, a theatrical poster, a teaser poster. And put them in the folders. So got the Quiet Place 3 posters in Text 1 and the Tenet 3 posters in Text 2. Yeah, that's it, basically. This is Twitter as of 7 p.m. Quality Street acts as iconic shining rappers for first time in 86 years. 1. I swear I've seen Quality Street without rappers. 2. This is a really bad thing because Quality Street Wrappers apparently are really good for making colored lights on a budget. So say you want to have a red light for making a film. All you need to do is cover a lamp in Quality Street Wrappers. Like red Quality Street Wrappers, and that's it. Now that's going to be hard to do since there are no wrappers anymore. Oh no, wait, the shiny ones. Wait, so is it just going to be the colored ones? Paper. Yeah, I've swear I've seen Quality Street with paper wrappers before. Like this isn't new to me, and these hauls aren't working. Wax paper packet. I just hope that they still have the colors and that you're able to make lines with them because I might need to use that for my film this year. Oh, for God's sake. Sam, what this person means is they would rather do Harry Potter studies than architecture and everything else. She didn't say that they are studying Harry Potter, but what she should have said was gender studies are media studies because they are the same thing. Like the full proper name of media is gender and politics studies. Sucking my teeth. I didn't see any of the trailers for Black Panther, but I've seen photos. So Shuri is taking over as Black Panther. I need a drink, Bob. Yeah, I'll get a drink. So Shuri is taking over. We also got a couple of stills of Ironheart, although they are you can't really see them well because one is from a bird's eye view, one is of her face while she's inside the armor, and one is from really far away. If you want an above average chance of discovering a time traveler, look at early buyers of Bitcoin. I had another hauls in between during the pause. Yeah, but it's hard to fool oneself if there's no foundation there somewhere. You learn to speak, read, and write an entire language from zero foundation before the age of 10. You are capable of more than you know. Which holiday is best? Christmas. Person released first NFT, right, okay. Never seen a tweet generate so much cope. Today I decided not to go ahead with the terrorist attack I've been planning for weeks because of the backlash from friends and family was becoming a distraction. Responsible leaders change course when they've made a mistake. Now isn't the right time. You're welcome. You couldn't. Text my lawyer for you. Dunfermline is not officially a city. A big crap is still a crap. Regarding the space deal in AEW, the decision was made by AEW on the behalf it will generate on the belief it will generate more money for the company from those markets in the new form. It has less exposure in those markets. I'm an AEW fan here in Latin America. People will not pay extra money to watch the product. They won't have more exposure than watching it for free on YouTube every week. Hopefully we're getting a better option for fans here. They pay extra in the UK. Why would they not in South America? Very simple. We are not the UK. We are the third world. People just refuse to pay extra here, especially after having it free for months. To be fair, with some of their free speech laws and whatnot, the UK isn't too far off from a third world country. Are you pretending the UK doesn't have free speech and is close to losing its first world status? It literally doesn't have free speech. Well, I say it, I mean we. The UK doesn't have free speech. And you don't know what free speech is. I would like to know what free speech is. Can you provide an explanation of the ability to criticize the government or a politician by being arrested? So you're telling me Boris has never had anyone arrested for criticizing him? What a lie. I know would criticize Boris constantly and accuse him of lying. Try doing that in Russia, North Korea, or Saudi Arabia. Yeah, we're not saying that it's that far, but there still is no free speech, dumbass. So the term free speech itself is misleading then, since the only speech that covers the speech towards the government, not speech as a whole, as the term suggests. Fascinating. I feel I have truly learned a lot. Thank you. I gave an example of what it covers. That sarcasm wasn't necessary. Whoa there, Nelly, I'm just asking questions since you seem to be an expert. You never said that it was just an example. You presented in a way it seemed to be an actual definition. So what else does free speech cover then? I'm looking for a general definition. The loser blocked me because he knew he was about to get blasted for having no clue what he was talking about. No, you can't just insult people in the government. There are currently trials going on right now for people insulting members of the government. Lying dickhead. I mean, there was that guy arrested last week because he called a cop a dickhead. And I was like, whoa, you can't call me that because we are outside and the public can, like, your neighbors can hear, like, well, neighbors. It looks like a very isolated area. Kind of area where there are no neighbors for miles. And eventually, like, I think 7 cops came and just assaulted him for no reason. No, you know fetuses can't scream, right? I try and sack the core first, so there's really no opportunity, if they're even far enough along to have the larynx. In utero, no one can hear you scream or something. I've long pointed out that they've got away with abortion because the victims can't even make a sound. Legitimately one of the most evil tweets I've ever seen. In a major challenge to climate alarmism, climate scientists have shown that Greenland ice has recovered since 2012, and the earlier loss was due to natural variability, not human CO2 emissions. Ah, for God's sake. Today I tested positive for COVID-19. I'm grateful to be vaccinated and boosted. My symptoms are mild, and I will be isolating and following CDC guidance while I recover. Can they at least vary the script a bit? It's very samey. Former Pentagon advisor says the most likely culprits found Nord Stream pipeline blasts are US and UK. Well, yeah, I believe that with Liz. And that the attack was carried out to prevent Germany from bailing on the war in Ukraine. Just U-turn on tax and an increase in both legal and illegal immigration points to the 1997 style wipeout. It will be fully deserved. They're just going to pretend like the last 2 years worth of revelations about corona lockdowns and masks didn't happen. UN official admitted at a WEF conference that the United Nations works directly with Google to rig the Google search engine.